No one noticed him at first. That was the strange thing. In a city as loud and restless as Seattle, a man sitting quietly on a park bench might as well be invisible. Yet the moment that would change many lives began right there, beneath tall green trees in Discovery Park, where the wind carried the smell of grass and the distant sound of buses passing on the main road. Daniel Carter was a single dad, a veteran, and a man who had learned how to stay quiet. He sat with his hands folded, watching his 8-year-old daughter Lily chase pigeons across the open lawn. Her laughter was soft, but to Daniel, it was the loudest and most beautiful sound in the world. Life hadn't been kind to Daniel lately. After leaving the army, he returned home with memories he rarely spoke about and a heart weighed down by responsibility. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier, leaving him alone to raise Lily. The bills never seemed to end. The nights were often sleepless. And yet, every morning he woke up, packed Lily's lunch, and caught the city bus to get her to school before heading to his job at a small warehouse near the docks. That afternoon, Daniel had brought Lily to the park because it was free, and because nature helped him breathe again. Tall trees, green paths, and the distant view of the water reminded him that not everything in life was broken. As Lily played, Daniel noticed an elderly man struggling near the bus stop just outside the park. The man dropped his walking stick and it rolled onto the sidewalk. People passed by. Some glanced. Most didn't stop. Daniel hesitated. His bank account was almost empty. His back hurt from long shifts. He was tired. But something inside him moved before his mind could argue. He stood up, walked over, and gently picked up the walking stick. "Here you go, sir," Daniel said softly. The old man looked up, surprised. His eyes were tired but warm. "Thank you," he replied. "My legs don't listen to me like they used to." Daniel smiled politely and helped him sit on the bench. He didn't ask for anything. He didn't tell his story. He simply waited until the city bus arrived and made sure the man boarded safely. Lily watched quietly from a distance. "Daddy," she asked when he returned, "why did you help him?" Daniel knelt beside her. "Because one day we might need help too," he said. That should have been the end of it. Just another small moment in a big city. But kindness rarely ends where it begins. Later that evening, as the sun dipped behind the skyline and cars moved like glowing lines across the bridge, Daniel felt something he hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Just a little. Enough to remind him he was still human. He didn't know the old man was Harold Whitman, a retired school principal. He didn't know Harold had been quietly watching the world lose patience. And he certainly didn't know that a simple act in a green park had planted a seed that would grow far beyond that bench. Daniel went home, cooked a simple dinner, and helped Lily with her homework. Outside, a helicopter passed overhead, heading toward the hospital downtown, its sound fading into the night. Life continued. But something had shifted. And the city, whether it realized it or not, had just taken its first breath of change. The next morning, rain washed the streets of Seattle clean. Daniel walked Lily to the bus stop, holding an umbrella in one hand and her backpack in the other. The city moved fast around them. Cars splashed water along the curb. Motorbikes weaved carefully through traffic. At work, Daniel lifted boxes and followed orders, his thoughts drifting back to the park. He didn't know why that moment stayed with him. Maybe it was Lily's question. Maybe it was the way the old man's eyes had softened. During lunch, Daniel's phone buzzed. A voicemail, unknown number. He listened later, sitting alone in his car. "Mr. Carter," the voice said, calm and clear. "My name is Harold Whitman. You helped me yesterday at Discovery Park. I'd like to speak with you if you're willing." Daniel stared at the dashboard, confused. They met 2 days later at a small cafe near Pike Place Market, where fresh flowers lined the street and people moved slowly, protected from the drizzle by colorful umbrellas. Harold explained everything. He had spent years believing kindness was fading. People were too busy, too distracted, but Daniel had stopped, without being asked. "I want to do something," Harold said. "Not just for you, for others like you." Daniel shook his head. "I didn't help you for anything in return." "I know," Harold replied. "That's why it matters." Through Harold's connections, Daniel was introduced to a local veteran support group that helped single parents find better jobs and childcare. It wasn't charity, it was opportunity. Within weeks, Daniel was offered training for a logistics coordinator position. Better hours, better pay, a future. But the chain reaction didn't stop there. Lily's teacher heard Daniel's story and started a kindness journal in her classroom. Students wrote about helping neighbors and strangers. Parents read those stories and began volunteering at parks and shelters. A bus driver who overheard Harold telling Daniel's story let struggling passengers ride for free when they were short on change. A cafe owner started leaving coffee outside for delivery drivers on cold mornings. All of it traced back to one quiet moment. One evening, Daniel returned to Discovery Park with Lily. The grass glowed green under the late sun. Families laughed. Children played. A gentle breeze moved through the trees. Lily held her father's hand. "Daddy," she said, "are we doing the kindness thing again?" Daniel smiled. "We never stopped." Nearby, a young mother struggled to fold a stroller while holding a crying baby. Daniel stepped forward. No announcement, no spotlight. Just help. As they walked home, buses hummed, cars rolled by, and the city felt softer. Daniel finally understood something important. Kindness doesn't need noise. It needs courage. And sometimes, the quietest actions echo the loudest. Weeks later, on a clear afternoon, Daniel stood at the edge of Discovery Park again. The sky was bright. The city skyline shimmered in the distance. A helicopter passed far above, small against the blue, reminding him how life keeps moving forward. Lily sat on the grass, drawing pictures of trees and people holding hands. Daniel thought about how close he had come to staying, seated that first day. How easy it would have been to look away. Life still wasn't perfect. Challenges didn't disappear overnight. Bills still came. Some nights were still quiet and heavy, but now Daniel carried something stronger than fear. Purpose. Harold often said, "Kindness is the only thing that multiplies when you give it away." Daniel believed it now. He saw it in Lily's smile, in strangers helping strangers, in a city that felt a little more human. And maybe, as you're listening to this story, you're wondering if small actions really matter. They do. You don't need money. You don't need power. You don't need attention. Sometimes all it takes is stopping, seeing, helping. Dear viewers, if this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to comment below and share what kindness means to you. Your words might inspire someone who needs hope today. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, please like this video so it can reach more people. And if you know a friend who could use a reminder that goodness still exists, share this video with them. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, Kindness Quest, where we share real, inspiring stories that prove small acts can change lives. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing. And thank you for choosing kindness. Because the next chain reaction might begin with you.